I used to be a really big fan of Phasmophobia. I played it on this channel a couple times, but the last time that I filmed it is pretty much the last time that I played it. I've seen some videos recently, I've seen a lot of people saying things on Reddit, Twitter, and all those social media platforms that this game is falling apart. So today we're going to talk about kind of like what's going on, what's the state of the game, or should you even buy it anymore? First up, we got to talk about the maps. Now I remember back in the day, I used to play quite a bit Tanglewood. Y'all remember Dexter from the channel? I used to play it with him all the freaking time. They did rework that map. They totally like remodeled it from the ground up, and it was always a community favorite. Now this wasn't met with a lot of hate or anything because the remodel was actually okay. People were concerned, but it ended up being a little bit less bad than they thought it would be. The problem is, number one, they keep messing with perfection. They keep changing parts of the game that really just don't need to be changed. There was a huge animation update that came out a little bit ago, and it totally broke the game to where now all the mechanics that everybody's used to, it just takes extra long amounts of time to do the things that we already could do. Now, if these animations were already in place when the game first came out, getting rid of them or enhancing them would not make anybody mad, as change is always good as long as it's a positive change. But when you're adding extra time for anybody to like pick up equipment or to use a thermometer or anything, it's just gonna make people mad. So if I pick up this flashlight right here, you can see that there's like a grab animation now. If I throw it back on the ground and I pick it back up, see how like my character goes out and has to grab it? It looks clunky and it looks stupid. And you know what else it does? It adds extra time. Phasmophobia is a game where you have to be on your toes at all time. So if you're using the spirit box right here, this extra time that it takes to press the button could be the very well time it takes for a ghost to start a hunt. Meaning that you have to not only just throw it and keep moving, whatever, pull out back your flashlight, you have to move fast in this game is what I'm trying to say. And unfortunately, they've made it so that it's kind of hard to do that. Now again, adding animations to a game is not inherently a terrible thing. But if the animations were already in place, that'd be one thing. The problem is, these were never here. When the game came out and what people have been used to for the past 4 or 5 years, you could automatically click things. So like if I click this light, I wouldn't have my guy go out and press it because it just adds more time. And this becomes a massive issue if you're dealing with a really hard ghost on a hard difficulty setting. So like right now, if I'm playing on like an easier difficulty, maybe it won't be the end of the world if it takes a little bit extra time to like light a smudge stick. But it definitely doesn't help things when you're playing those harder maps on those harder difficulties because every second matters. The problems don't end there. What that leads into is the fact that they're not listening to the players, and that is the biggest thing, is player feedback. If you're not listening to your players, you're not going to have a good game. And there's nobody that really asked for a Tanglewood rework. People might say that they did, but nobody really cared about it. People liked Tanglewood. It was overall a pretty positive opinion of a map, but they went ahead and decided to redo it anyway. Okay, you know, big deal. I get it. I mean, I'm not like a super fan of the game, so it didn't really affect me too much. They decided to redo the farmhouses. They totally ruined one by making it like totally destroyed. And then now, instead of adding a new map with this disaster of a year, they're just reworking Willow, the other small house? Nobody that I knew back when I was a super fan of this game had a problem with Willow's street house. Why is your big roadmap this year going to remodel Willow? The next thing that I think a lot of people are mad about are the amount of bugs. I mean, look, every single game and their mother has bugs. I get it. They're bound to happen with a big game like Phasmophobia. But as I've seen through videos and various posts, there's a lot of problems, like with fingerprints not showing up on like 2 of these cabinet doors right here, with the ghost just like randomly speeding up even though the ghost is not supposed to do that. You can't have those random behaviors happen because if you do, you're dealing with a different ghost than what you're actually looking for. And these unnecessary changes don't end here. Check out what happens when I open this hiding spot, right? I can go in and yeah, they made it so that you can see outside, which is super cool. But in this room over here, if I try to open this, I can't. Why? Well, there's no reason. They didn't add any like random blocks or anything like they used to have where you could see that one wasn't going to be open or anything. You just physically can't open it. Why did they implement that? It's a useless thing that they could have spent more time developing something else better. Look, my next biggest problem is I feel like the devs just don't care. And I know someone could maybe say that this kind of merges into the first one, but I want you to look at this animation for the flashlight. Pay attention to the hand on the left in 3, 2, 1. See like the random thumb click? It doesn't look good, it looks clunky. Also, who in the world's gonna want to play in a map where it's permanently cold and it's hard to get a temperature reading? People don't really play on Maple Lodge for that reason, and now they've totally ruined this entire house. It's actually used to be my favorite map in the entire game, and to see it totally ruined kind of sucks. But it's not even that they ruined it in a good way, they just made it look like somebody just trashed it like a college frat house. It doesn't look very fun. Now I will say, I gotta be a little bit positive, I will say the graphics have gotten a lot better. Instead of using like, you know, purely free models from the asset store, you know, this does look pretty good. Their modeling is pretty solid, but instead of using it to their advantage with making these new and improved maps, they keep trying to rework the ones we've already grown to know and love. I think that is a waste of their resources because they could have double the amount of maps if they didn't stop deleting them. I've seen a common theme that people really prefer Asylum over Sunny Meadows because Sunny Meadows is just not fun to play on anymore, and it's like, why don't we have both? You already made one. If you're not proud of the other one, don't advertise it. Make it like unlock at a later level for OGs or something like that. I don't know. I think the next thing to talk about is that the game's just not even scary anymore. You know, Phasmophobia is supposed to be a freaky game, but now when I have to press J J and wait about 3 seconds for my notebook to open, I think that's the scariest part of this game. Because now there's not really a big scare element. And I know the horror update has not come out yet and that's going to be planned, but I'm just going to make a bold claim. And I'm sorry, Kinetic Games, but I'm going to say it. A game that is a horror game should not need a horror update. It should already be scary, and it should just be a later bug fix or later gameplay fix. The death screen is not scary at all. They tried to fix it, but in my opinion, made it less scary. The ghost acts so silly now because the game's so unbelievably bugged, and the cursed possessions that were my favorite addition to this game ever, there's been nothing like that added in a very long time. I don't expect to have a million cursed possessions, but give us more interactable things to do that are scary, that affect our performance, because this is just not it. Oh, there's a ghost right there. Okay, I have my sound off. That kind of freaked me out. I will say, though, even though there's that, you know, that's a great example. The game hasn't lost its charm. It's not like it's too far gone. I love Phasmophobia. I want to see it do really well. EMF 5, by the way. I'm calling it right now. It's an Oni because it scared me and I'm super high sanity. If it's an Oni, y'all gotta hit that like button. Anyway, I still like the game. Don't get me wrong. I want to play it and I want to enjoy it. But right now, they just made it really hard to do so. Why are we almost the first finally big... Oh, it was an ass wong. What the crap is that? Told y'all I haven't played in a long time. Look, all that being said, it's now time to talk about the State of Phasmophobia. Like, where are we with this game? And I say the State of Phasmophobia is weak. You guys remember my Wizard 101 State of the Union video? I said it was on thin ice. Well, this one is pretty much on serious trouble. A little bit more so than Wizard 101. With Wizard 101 and games like World of Warcraft and all those MMOs, you're gonna have those devout fans that always keep coming back because they were raised with it in their childhood. I was raised with Phasmophobia in my childhood and I have not come back in a long time. You guys see this? 418 on my old level. Well, now what level am I? I'm only 49 and I've not really played since the game came out and changed the entire starting area. So what do I think would make the game a lot better? First, they gotta get rid of these animations. I know they might have spent time on it, but in my opinion, you gotta cut your losses and go back to making players love you. You gotta forget that whole thing happened, maybe give each player a little gift and say sorry. Put back some of the older maps that you had, like Grafton Old or Grafton New, and just stop trying to do too much, because right now they're just doing too much. I feel like they're kind of thinking, for some reason, that they have the budget of Rockstar Games when they're not. And they do not. They have a very limited player base, and if that player base leaves them, they are bankrupt. So stop doing this. What really bothers me is this roadmap. As you guys can tell, you know, we had all these problems with these animations like we've talked about. In July, there's a Willow rework. August is a quality of life update, which is stupid that they're doing it in 2 parts. October is the Crimson Eye, which is not going to fix a damn thing. Player character visual update. You tried that once before. Things didn't go so well. Why would you double down? Edgefield rework. Who's asking for this? And then a content update maybe in 2027. Yeah, this is completely stupid. Kinetic, I love you. I love your game, but fix all of your crap because this is pretty depressing to look at. Love y'all. Bye.